welcome, and get ready for a massive deep dive into Kawasaki's brand new lineup for 2025. Before we unleash the details on these exciting bikes, make sure you like and subscribe so you never miss out on the latest updates in the motorcycle world, because we're about to take a long, exhilarating ride through everything Kawasaki has to offer this year. Let's begin with something that might surprise enthusiasts who adore timeless aesthetics, the all-new 2025 W230 ABS. If you've been wishing for a lower displacement retro from Kawasaki's iconic W series, this is the bike you've been waiting for. Picture this, a 233cc air-cooled single-cylinder engine, classic spoked wheels, a low seat height at about 29.3 inches, and that upright, relaxed position that's perfect for a breezy weekend cruise or a stress-free commute. It's a fascinating approach, marrying a traditional design that harks back to the original 60s-era W models with a lighter, more approachable build. This means newer riders and seasoned veterans alike can hop on and relive that scrumptiously classic riding vibe without the intimidation of a heavier, higher displacement machine. But don't be fooled, retro style doesn't mean the W230 is behind the times. It comes equipped with modern touches like ABS-enabled brake components because, let's face it, who doesn't want better safety in unpredictable conditions? You'll also find an instrument cluster that fuses that old-school dial aesthetic with practical digital readouts, offering the best of both worlds. From the thump-thump of the air-cooled engine to the easy handling, the W230 is ready to introduce a whole new wave of riders to the sweet taste of vintage-inspired motorcycle life. By the way, if you're just tuning in, this is our ultimate breakdown of Kawasaki's 2025 range. So don't forget to like and subscribe if you missed it the first time. Now, maybe you prefer something with a little more punch and a lot more technology. Allow me to steer you directly toward the new 2025 Ninja 1100 SX ABS. And of course its sibling, the Ninja 1100 SX SC ABS. Kawasaki's Ninja family remains an integral part of the brand's legacy, with roots that connect back to some of the most iconic sport bikes in motorcycling history. For 2025, Kawasaki's done more than just slap new paint on the fairings. They've bumped engine displacement from the previous 1043cc to a new 1099cc inline 4. They've refined the Kawasaki Quick Shifter, KQS, and they've added neat features like a handlebar-mounted USB Type-C outlet for charging on the go. What about those sizzling real-world changes? Well, you might see a slight drop in peak horsepower on the spec sheet compared to last year's Ninja, but you'll gain more mid-range torque, helping real-life street riders get that extra grunt during day-to-day commuting or spirited weekend rides. Kawasaki also touts better fuel economy as a plus. So, if you're someone who racks up big miles, that's not a bad trade-off at all. But let's talk about the two versions of this machine. The standard Ninja 1100 SX ABS is already loaded with electronics like advanced traction control and multiple ride modes. But if you want even more bells and whistles, you can level up to the Ninja 1100 SX SC ABS. With that, you'll gain an Öhlins rear shock to help iron out the bumps in the road, and a Brembo front brake setup that can really bite down hard when you need it. The SE also typically comes in that premium Kawasaki livery, which might include a more eye-catching color scheme, and while nobody likes a price hike, it can be absolutely worth it for the rider seeking top-shelf performance components. The end result, a confident sport tourer that merges the plush riding position of a touring machine with the unmistakable aggression of a Ninja. If that's not enough, you can now enjoy a voice control feature for Kawasaki smartphone connectivity, letting you focus on the road while still staying connected. Next up, let's take a look at Kawasaki's answer to the ever-growing appetite for big-mile adventure machines. The 2025 Versys 1100 SE-LT ABS. The Versys line has always bridged the gap between sporty handling and travel-ready capability. But this new 1100 iteration aims to push that synergy even further. Much like its Ninja sibling, the Versys 1100 sees its displacement bump up to 1099cc. That also means it benefits from increased torque throughout the rev range. So, whether you're weaving through city traffic or cruising open highways, you'll have that extra pull right where you want it. In previous generations, the Ninja 1000 series and Versys 1000 series engines were tuned differently, often resulting in unique horsepower figures. But for 2025, Kawasaki streamlines the motor's tune for both models. While that means the new Versys might have a bit more top-end power than before, the new Ninja trades a little of its top peak for more everyday usability, effectively making both machines more universal. The Versys 1100 is loaded with advanced electronics, traction control, selectable power modes, improved KQS for seamless upshifts and downshifts, and the same convenient USB Type-C port on the handlebar. Factor in the new voice-enabled smartphone connectivity via Rideology, the app motorcycle, and you've got a do-it-all powerhouse. The SELT variant also gives you an upgraded suspension package, making long journeys or bumpy roads feel that much smoother. And let's not forget its striking adventure styling, tall windscreen, upright ergonomics, and a robust body shape that declares, "Let's ride anywhere." If you're still hanging on for more news, trust me, we're only halfway through the 2025 story. Stick around, because I'll be talking about one of Kawasaki's high-octane motocross machines in just a moment. Plus a few hints at Kawasaki's rumored next move in the adventure segment. We've got a lot more to uncover. Before we plunge into off-road territory, it's worth highlighting another important piece of the puzzle, the KX450SR. Kawasaki's KX series has dominated racing and off-road competition for decades, forging a global reputation for power, agility, and unstoppable resilience. In the 2025 KX450SR, the brand continues that tradition with a potent, refined single-cylinder engine and updates that keep it competitive on the track. Expect incremental improvements in low-end torque, a thoroughly tested chassis geometry for stable cornering, plus top-of-the-line suspension hardware that can handle big jumps and rutted corners. Motocross enthusiasts might also appreciate the revised ECU settings, which can deliver smoother power delivery in tricky conditions. It's that kind of reliability and attention to performance detail that's turned the KX lineup into a staple at motocross events worldwide. Whether you're a weekend track warrior or an aspiring pro, the KX450SR won't let you down when the gate drops. Meanwhile, the naked bike scene remains strong at Kawasaki too. Bikes like the Z900 and Z650 continue to entice riders who prefer a more upright stance, but still want plenty of pep under the tank. Kawasaki has done well to keep these models modernized, introducing incremental performance tweaks and updated styling. For 2025, if you peek over at the Z900, you'll see a shift to radially mounted calipers, a move that's well overdue, and an integrated inertial measurement unit, or IMU, that should help refine cornering ABS and traction control capabilities. While not the main focus of this year's brand announcements, these changes definitely keep the Z900 in the conversation for the best middleweight naked bikes out there. And the same goes for the SE variant with Brembo brakes and an upgraded rear shock. So if you were already a Z900 fan, you can rest assured Kawasaki's continued investment has made an even better version of that beloved naked. Switching gears back to the retro side for a second, if you've been eyeing the Z900 RS or the Z650 RS, you probably already know Kawasaki does vintage flair with an expert touch. Sleek tank lines, tasteful retro color combos, and that round headlight that never seems to go out of style. While the new W230 might be the big highlight for that classic crowd in 2025, the RS series remains a fan favorite. Different color finishes might pop up each year, and occasionally an SE version with upgraded suspension or braking surfaces. For many, the Z900 RS SE, with its mix of black paint, gold accents, and subtle nods to the 1970s Z1, is a near-perfect embodiment of the modern classic vibe. It's the kind of motorcycle that looks equally at home at a local cafe meet or blasting down a country road with effortless power. And if you see one in person, that glossy paint and timeless silhouette can turn heads in a heartbeat. Stepping back, you can't deny that Kawasaki is giving riders a wealth of options in 2025. We've covered the W230, Ninja 1100 SX versus 1100, and KX450SR in detail. and we've hinted at updates across several other beloved lines. By now, you might be wondering how to choose just one from this sprawling stable of green machines. Do you want the relaxed throwback charm of the W230, the balanced sport touring capability of the Ninja 1100 SX, the upright adaptability and long-distance comfort of the Versys 1100? Or are you looking to tear up dirt on the weekends with the KX450 SR? And that's not even mentioning the other choices: Z900, Z650 RS, Ninja ZX4 RR, and the bigger ZX bikes if you crave that top-tier superbike performance. The best advice is to think hard about how you'll ride most often. Long tours, daily commutes, track days, off-road. Kawasaki wants to meet all these needs. And from the looks of it, they're pulling out all the stops to remain at the forefront of the motorcycle industry in 2025. For those with a taste of customization, fear not. Kawasaki continues to roll out factory accessories for these new models, which is especially appealing on something like the Versys 1100. Hard panniers, top cases, and bigger windscreens are well within your reach, so you can tailor your bike to everything from a daily grocery run to a multi-country tour. As for the W230, don't be surprised if Kawasaki or third-party companies offer vintage-inspired bolt-ons, like a brown leather seat or perhaps a range of side bags that complement that retro aesthetic. Part of the fun of owning a motorcycle is making it yours, and it seems like Kawasaki wants to support that spirit of individuality. Alright, that's a wrap on our in-depth journey through Kawasaki's 2025 motorcycle lineup. We've talked classic style, modern sport touring, ultimate adventure, and race-ready off-road. And we've teased the possibility of an all-new KLE that might show up soon. There's truly something for every rider, from novices stepping into the retro world of the W230, to the experienced touring enthusiasts eyeing the Ninja or Versys 1100, or even serious motocross competitors who need the unstoppable grit of a KX450 SR. It's going to be an amazing year for Team Green, and I can't wait to see these bikes out on the road, on the trails, and on the track. If you haven't yet, do me a favor, hit the like button and subscribe, join the conversation, and let me know which new Kawasaki model you're most excited about. Thanks so much for sticking around for this mega overview of Kawasaki's 2025 offerings, and I'll catch you in the next deep dive on all things two wheels. Stay safe, ride smart, and welcome to the new face of Kawasaki for 2025.